Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Wildlife Around Us. Today I will be giving you 10 methods by which you can perfect your focusing skills and upgrade your images from this to this. Before we proceed with today's session or today's video, those who are new to this channel, I welcome you to my channel. Please subscribe if you are interested in macro photography or wildlife photography, and please check my content out in the channel. I hope you will like it here. Today's video will be of two parts. In the first part, I will be discussing about the basics of focusing, and in the second part, I will be giving you the 10 methods that I was talking about. So if you want to learn the 10 methods and improve your photographing skills, you have to stick until the end of the video. So without any further ado, let's get started. Now the first term that comes into our mind when we talk about focusing is autofocusing. Almost all of us use autofocus day in, day out. But before there was autofocus, there was focus, where almost all cameras use lens to focus onto their sensor. Yes, almost all, not all. There are some cameras which do not rely on lenses, like the pinhole cameras, which uses a small hole in its body through which the light from the subject enters and is projected into a photosensitive plate which is inside the camera box. If we keep aside this type of cameras, almost all cameras uses lenses to focus. Each lens consists of several glass pieces which are called the elements, and the number of elements which are designed to perform a certain work is known as a group. So focusing is done by the lenses by changing the relative distances between the glass elements or the groups and converging the light that is coming through the lens from the subject and converging perfectly into the sensor, not before it, not after it, exactly at the sensor. Now, as we all know, we can do focusing in lenses by two methods. One is autofocus, another is manual focus. So let us see what are the different types of autofocus systems that are used by the cameras to perfectly focus a subject. So autofocus systems can be broadly divided into two parts. One is active autofocus, another is passive autofocus. The active autofocus system. This was around in the old days, where the cameras used to transmit an ultrasonic or infrared signal towards the subject. The signal hits the subject and is transmitted back to the camera, and the autofocus sensor inside the camera take up this signal and calculates the time taken by the signal to come back to the camera, and likewise calculate the distance between the camera and the subject and instructs the lens to arrange its elements to perfectly focus the subject. Nowadays, active autofocus systems have become obsolete mainly because of two reasons. The first reason is it is not very helpful or very accurate in case where the subjects are standing very far away from the lens, because more the distance between the camera and the subject, the more error it is giving, and hence the focusing was not perfect. And two, if there are many objects surrounding the main subject, the camera was getting confused which one to focus and which one to not. Today's camera use a modern technology which is known as the passive autofocus system. Now the passive autofocus system has two different subsystems. The first one is the phase detection and the second one is the contrast detection. So let us first look at what phase detection technique is. We all know in the DSLRs, light comes through the lens, hits the mirror, goes above and hits the pentaprism, and finally emits from the viewfinder for us to see. What most of us don't know is that some portion of it transmits through the mirror and hits another mirror, which redirects the light below where the autofocus sensor lives. Now when the light is transmitting through the first mirror, there is a technology which splits the light into two portions. A computer in the autofocus system evaluates the relative position of the two splitted image and directs the lens to adjust itself in a way so as to perfectly overlap these two images into one. Once this overlap is complete and the two splitted images is now one, the camera is in sharp focus condition. Early sensors just used a horizontal or a vertical splitting of the image. Now modern day sensors use both horizontal and the vertical evaluation to perfectly focus the subject. which we call a cross-type focus. Also, dual cross-type focus are available in camera systems now. Okay, so this is all about the phase detection autofocus system. Now we come into the contrast detection autofocus system. Contrast detection systems is used by the mirrorless cameras, the point and shoot cameras, the mobile or the smartphone cameras and the DSLRs in the live view mode. That is basically wherever the mirror is not involved in photographing. Phase detection, as you already know, is a bit more complex, whereas the contrast detection system is quite easy and simpler and uses the light falling directly onto the sensor to provide focus. The main difference and advantage of this system is the autofocus points. In the phase detection system, we have to depend on the number of autofocus points and the type of autofocus points to get better focus out of a camera. Whereas in contrast detection systems, we have an unlimited number of focus points. That is why most modern cameras, the mirrorless cameras and the smartphones, you can focus by just tapping on a particular area where you want to focus in the touchscreen. In this method, the maximum intensity or the maximum contrast indicates the region of the sharpest focus by reading the increase or decrease in the intensity of light on a pixel or on a group of pixels. While simplicity is the advantage of this system, the downside is the camera have to evaluate the image to perfectly focus. So the camera moves its lens elements in order to verify whether the image is getting sharper or more blurry and finally focuses. This process of verifying whether it is getting blurry, more blurry or it is getting sharper is called hunting, and sometimes this is very frustrating. Luckily, modern day technology is evolving very fast and we are getting cameras with very fast autofocus even with using these contrast detection systems. So this is all about the basics of focusing and how cameras or how different cameras uses different techniques to focus onto a subject. Now let us come into the second part of the video. In macro lenses, 1:1 magnification ratio or the maximum magnification ratio which is available works at the minimum focusing distance. So the working distance becomes very less and the depth of field becomes very shallow. This is where things get a bit tricky and autofocus systems do not work properly. So we have to focus our subjects manually. So here are my 10 methods by which you can definitely improve your manual focusing skills to improve your macro photographs. Tip number 1. Learn the basics of camera holding. Hold your breath while clicking and hold the camera very close to your body. So I recommend to use the viewfinder and not the live view mode unless you are using a tripod. Method number 2. Increase your aperture. Increase the aperture value to increase the depth of field, which in turn increases the probability of getting a maximum area in focus. I have discussed in details how changing the aperture increases or decreases the depth of field in one of my previous videos. I will put the link somewhere in the above. You can go and check it out. Number 3. Know your aperture sweet spot. Having said that increasing the aperture will increase the depth of field, you have to learn about the sweet spot of a lens. Every lens has a sweet spot in terms of aperture value where it gives the best result. You have to find out the sweet spot of your own lens. Number 4. Know your lens like the back of your hand. Know what the minimum focusing distance of your lens is and know what is the maximum magnification your lens provides. Once you know the minimum focusing distance or the working distance where you are getting a maximum magnification, then just set your lens into that focusing point and manually move back and forth to get the perfect focus. Number 5. Use a focusing rail. If you don't want to move back and forth like a drunk person, you can buy a focusing rail which you can fit or adjust onto your tripod to move your camera. Number 6. Use a tripod. You can use a tripod for stable subjects, though sometimes the tripods may become a little cumbersome and it may disturb the insect and let it fly away. But if the subject is in a stable condition or sitting stable at a point, then using a tripod is the best solution. Number 7. Use a flash. The flash will not only allow you to increase the shutter speed to freeze the movement, it also increases the depth of field to a little extent. Number 8. Study your subject. This is a very important point. Learn about its behavior, its circle of fear, and the behavioral changes or the pose changes just before flying away or jumping towards you. You have to learn and study the comfortable walking distance for each and every subject that you are photographing. Number 9. Use focus picking. Focus picking is available in modern day cameras and the mirrorless cameras, where the camera tells you exactly where it is focusing by highlighting a particular color onto that area. So you can know by that highlighted color that if your subject is in focus or not. Number 10. Practice, practice and practice. The most important point, and which I recommend the most, is you should practice each and every day. The more you will practice, the more you get to know about your camera, your lens, the subject, the behavior of the subject, and how to approach the insects and the bugs. So I recommend you to please take out the camera each and every day and photograph at least one subject. So these are my 10 methods by following which you can definitely improve your macro photography skills. I hope you have learned something out of this video. Please let me know in your comments that if you have liked the video or not, and if you like my content, please don't forget to subscribe and share my channel. It will help me and my channel grow. See you next time. Bye for now.